everybody, we're back! Alright, so now we're just continuing on with vocab again. So again, part 3, one sign language, 3 like this, of vocab. Alright, so we just finished off with bisectors. So remember, bisecting just means cut equally in half. Left and a right, equal. Now we're going to go to congruent. Congruent, which is what we did with compasses in class. So we have our starting point and our ending point. So in class I had you draw a 3-inch line, take your compass on one end, so the sharp metal point here, and you made this, remember, right? And it was just because we wanted to have two completely equal lines. Two even lines. Now congruent means the same, so it doesn't have to be lines. So I could have two congruent angles. We all know I can't draw very well, but we're going to say these are congruent because I'm going to put my little thing here and I'm going to say this is 55 degrees and I'm going to say this is 55 degrees. So I'm telling you, whether it looks iffy or not, angle A is 55 degrees. Angle B is 55 degrees. So I'm going to label this A and B. A, my little angle sign, don't forget our little angle sign, is equal to angle B. That's it. These are congruent. Congruent, meaning two of the same thing. Next. Next up, we're going to do our transversals. Yay! Alright, so we start with our what? Our two parallel lines. And they're parallel because I tell you they're parallel. Because I'm boss. Alright? And crazy. And I might not have pointed this out earlier. My niece drew this on here, so I didn't want to be racist. So these two lines are parallel. Now I could also have that little dash there, letting us know they were the same. But since I want to make this a transversal, I'm going to take that out. Yay. Alright, so we've got our transversal. Our transversal line. A transversal line being a line that cuts two parallel lines, so two separate parallel lines at any particular place, but it cuts them both. Now this is going to make those things like alternating interior angles that we love so much. But this part here is that there are two parallel lines and one transversal line. A total of 3 lines, 2 parallel, 1 transversal. Just this line right here, like so, is a transversal. So, let me erase this part. So we still know that this is a transversal line. Now we're going to do our alternating interior angles. And what does interior mean? Inside. Interior, inside. Inside, parallel line. Inside. Okay, now they're alternating interior angles. So this angle and this angle are alternating interior angles. They're also congruent. Because if you look right here, right, straight down, this angle and this angle are going to equal 180 because of that straight line. Remember, we always have that straight line because this right here, we use a different color because I have lots of colors. This right here is equal to this right here. And we'll get to that next with the corresponding angles or the alternating for the alternating interior angles. So we have our alternating interior angles. These two right here are the same measurement because this is the same as this, is the same as this, right here. Okay, so for what we're doing right now, we're just doing alternating interior angles. This and this. So this is a set of alternating interior angles. If I erase this, now these are alternating interior angles. These are going to be the same. They're going to be congruent. Okay, so now our alternating exterior angles. Exterior, outside of the parallel lines. These are different colors, just to make a point. So we're going to say this right here. Exterior. Okay? So I'm going to do this side since I've drew on this side. So this and this are alternating exterior angles. Because of this transversal, if you look at it, they're the same. You can see that. You can take it and flip it over, and it would match up right here. So they're alternating exterior angles. They're outside of the parallel lines. Too many marker caps. Alright. Okay. So I'm going to refresh real bit on complementary and supplementary. So supplementary being 180 degrees. So if we look at this right here, right? The whole line is 180 degrees. So these two angles are supplementary to each other. Now that goes for any straight line. These angles are supplementary to each other. I just wanted to point that out again, just in case anybody forgot. Okay, so I'm going to reiterate a couple of things that I've already mentioned, but this right here and this right here are corresponding angles. Okay? So I've got corresponding angles. One is in between the parallel lines, one is outside the parallel lines. So our alternating exterior angles are both outside, and our alternating interior angles are both inside. Corresponding angles, one is outside, one is inside. So if you need to write this down, if you need to color coordinate things, don't put it all in the same transversal example. So draw separate parallel lines, draw separate transversal, mark them separately. Okay, so I don't want you to have this big jumbled up mess with all these different angles because it's just going to be confusing. Alright, goodbye transversal. But I know you love it. I do, I know you love it. Alright, next up is our vertical angles. So I've got two lines. They're going to cross each other. Vertical angles. This is equal to this because I have just simply two lines crossing each other. It doesn't matter which angle they're coming in at, they're just two lines crossing each other. So even if this was all 90 degrees, these would still be vertical angles. Now if these are vertical angles, then guess what? This and this is going to be a vertical angle. It doesn't mean that these are all the same, but whatever is directly across, like a little bow tie, okay, are going to be vertical angles. So if I say this is 75, then this is 75. Okay? We've already touched on adjacent angles, but I want to do just an adjacent angle example. We did that with bisectors. So again, we have our 90 degree here. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to bisect. And this is, again, our adjacent. Quiet, alarm clock. Our adjacent angle. Our adjacent angles with an adjacent line. They are adjacent because they are directly next to each other. They are touching. They have a common side or a common ray in this situation. So in this situation right here, they have a common ray. Everything has the same endpoint or vertex. So again, this is called a vertex. There's three separate rays. Vertex, adjacent line, adjacent angles. Okay? It will close. Alright, so next video, next time. Bye.